there is a powerful Rashi toward the end of Parshas Behaaloscha that contains within it two very valuable lessons, albeit on the same words, but they seem to be opposite lessons. And these lessons are very applicable and practical to our lives. So in order to understand the Rashi, we need to get a little bit of background. This is the part of the Parsha where Miriam and Aaron spoke Lashon Hara. They spoke negatively about Moshe concerning Tzipora, the wife of Moshe. Now Rashi explains to us that Miriam had overheard Tzipora speaking about her relationship with Moshe. And then Miriam told Aaron and they discussed it. Interestingly, Rashi mentions that Miriam really didn't intend to hurt Moshe in any way. And Rashi says that teaches us that when we do speak with the intent of hurting someone, that how much more so is it that we would be punished, considering the fact that when Miriam did not intend in hurting Moshe, she was still punished. Very important lesson for us about Lashon Hara in general. So Hashem takes Miriam and Aaron to task for what they said about Moshe, and Hashem calls Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam to come to the Ohel Moed, to the tent of meeting, and the pasuk says, "Vayetzu shloshtam," they all went, all three. Then there was there was a cloud that comes down at the entrance to the Ohel Moed, and the cloud contains within it Hashem's voice, and Hashem says, "Vayikra Aaron and Miriam," that he calls Aaron and Miriam, "Vayetzu shneim," they both come out. So Rashi immediately asks and says, why was Aaron and Miriam separated from Moshe? Here Hashem said they should all come together, and now they're separated. So Rashi offers two possibilities, and these are the two lessons. The first is one which is very positive, in that Rashi says that we have a concept which applies to all of us, and that is when we speak about someone else in a positive way, miktzas shvacho shel adam befanav, that we say some things in the positive about a person, about their great attributes, we say in front of them, but kulo shelo befanav, but everything that we want to say about them in the positive, we say not in front of them. In other words, to not embarrass a person, even though you want to say great things about them. And Rashi, for example, gives the example of when Hashem called Noach a tzaddik. So in Noach's presence, Hashem called him Noach ish tzaddik, a righteous man. Partial of the praise that Hashem wanted to give on Noach. But when not in Noach's presence, Hashem called Noach a tzaddik tamim, a righteous, perfect person, to teach us the lesson that when we speak positively about someone and about their attributes, we only share some of their positive traits in front of them, but all of their positive traits and attributes when not in front of them, apparently so as not to embarrass them or make them uncomfortable. That's number one. But then Rashi offers the second possibility as to why Moshe was separated from Aaron and Miriam. And this is the second powerful lesson. And the words of Rashi is Shelo Yishma b'nesifaso shel Aaron. Moshe, of course, would see Miriam, would see the tsaras, the skin disease that she got, right after the cloud disappeared. That he would see her punishment. But before that, Hashem was rebuking Aaron. And the pasuk, Rashi says that Hashem did not want Moshe to see Aaron being rebuked. And I think that's the other powerful lesson. There are times in life where we need to tell people how we feel about them, or about something that they did to us in which they hurt us, or something that we know that they did which is wrong, and we need to point it out to them. But we need to do so carefully and so respectfully. And I think the most important lesson here is in privacy, without someone else hearing. So if I have a conversation that I need to have with Reuven, I should make sure that that is nowhere within an earshot of Shimon, so that he could hear me say what I'm saying to Reuven as I'm speaking to Reuven about perhaps himself and something negative about him. So that even though we need to have difficult conversations sometimes, and they are important, but we need to show respect, and respect is to the person who we're saying it to by giving the privacy necessary. Sometimes emotions are so quick that someone says something, they get upset at us, and we strike back. And when we strike back, we don't realize the consequences of that which who may be around us, who's hearing us striking at them, which causes all kinds of consequences. So I think it's a very powerful lesson for us that when we speak to someone and we want to tell them something which is important to us, which may be negative about them, we do so with the greatest amount of respect and privacy as possible. These are two very practical, important lessons that we learn from this Rashi, and I hope that we are all able to become more aware of them and apply them to our lives. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.